this up, and here you can see our indicators, and what we're going to be working with is the has. So I'm just going to open up a chart, just pick one here to set up, and in this case it comes up with a blank chart, of course, with the price action on it, and it comes up on the 1 hour. So what I'm going to do is drag my has over here, and these are our inputs. Now, most of these I'm going to leave as default just for this experiment. Remember, you can change these around to whatever you want. In this case, we're going to use the has direction, which means whenever it's blue, it means it's in a long trend. Whenever it's red, it's in a short trend. Now remember, the has, all the has is just a couple of moving averages. It's a moving average of a moving average, it's smoothed out. So you can change these settings to whatever you want. The second one and the fourth one number are actually your moving averages. So this is an 8, this is a 12, and these are just the other settings that you use for a moving average. Okay, we're going to use the breakout lines, so we're going to leave that at true. And I'm going to use a buffer. The default is 2 pips above the breakout line when it triggers. And if we wanted to use a candle close, which means it would wait for the candle to close above the breakout line before it takes the trade, you could set this to true. And then leave this one here, of course, at false, because we won't be using that one. Take profit, I'm not going to be setting up any take profit, but you can set a fixed take profit here if you want to set this to true, and set a fixed take profit, 10, 20, 50 pips, whatever you think you want. Same way with the stop loss, I'll leave that at false for now, and you can set that up however you want. If you want to set a protective stop loss on here, you can turn that on. Remember, all of these take profit stop losses are hidden from the broker. They do not go to the broker. They are only on your screen here, and if you double click on them, you can drag them and move them wherever you want. Now what I'm going to be using is the trailing stop loss pip lock. I'll just leave it at the defaults. What that means is when it hits a target of 20 pips, it will start trailing at 18 pips. Then when it hits 25, it will start trailing at 15. And when it hits 30, it will start trailing at 5. And it will stay at 5 then until it pulls back and takes itself out, or it could take itself out up here on one of these too. So we're going to use this. I'm not going to be using the opposite has signal to exit the trade. You could if you wanted to. That means when the color changes to the opposite color, it will exit. Acceleration, what that means is, like you look here at this candle here, what acceleration means, if it opened here, this price has to move above the previous high. It has to accelerate past it. Like over here, say if you got in here at this open, it would have not take the trade because the price never exceeded the high of the previous candle. It went down. So you have to exceed the high of the previous candle, or if you're going in a short direction like down this way, it has to exceed the low of the previous candle in order to take the trade. That's what we mean by acceleration. Alerts, what I'm going to do is I'll turn this on for now. We'll run this in the alert mode. That means it's going to alert me if I have one of these set up. Remember, it can send you an email alert, or just sound off, or a pop-up, or it can send you a push notification. But these all have to be set up under your tools options up there. So remember they have to be set up in order to work. So I'm going to turn on the alert mode, and what that'll do now, we'll show you in a minute, it'll just send an alert back to the dashboard, and the dashboard will not take any trades when it's in the alert mode. Okay, so we got it kind of roughly set up the way we want it. Now what I'm going to do is save that template as my default. And as you can see, it's got my name up here, comes up with, if the name did not match the account I was assigned to, it would say illegal copy here. So if you ever have any trouble with this saying illegal copy, send me a screenshot of this area right here so I can see what the name is trying to lock up to. And as you can see, I got the alerts turned on, so it's in alert mode only, and I can turn the alert mode off over here if I want to. The reason I have it back in the properties in the settings is because that way I can make a default template and it will automatically turn on all the alerts on all of my pairs as I put the template on. I don't have to go in and hit the button on each one. If I turn this off, now the alerts are off. Now I am in the trade mode, so if it would take a trade and if the dashboard was set up properly, it would automatically take a trade. But like I said, we're going to do the alert mode. Okay, so I can close this. Now I go back to the dashboard, and I'm going to close out the charts I got open down here. We're going to start now. Since I got that as my default template, I turn on all 28 pairs because I'm going to trade all 28. And I'm going to hit open charts, and it's going to apply that default template you see to all my charts. Now I'm on the 1 hour. If you want to change it to something else, you can use the chart period here. Just open that up and you can put whatever else you want in here. In this case it defaults to 5. So if you want it on a 4 hour, put 240 in there and click OK, and you'll notice they all changed to 4 hour. Now my dashboard is still on the 1 hour, and as you know, it will only take one trade per chart every hour if there is no other trade open. Okay, so we're on a 4 hour chart, and you notice we have an alert. This means it's yellow. You get a yellow down arrow or a yellow up arrow telling you got an alert on that pair. So in this case we got an alert. It's telling us go look at it, see if you want to take the trade or not. Before we do that, I'm going to turn on my graph. I always hit reset. You can leave it at 2 minutes. This will give you 24 hours of graphing. It's 12 hours per minute. Just remember, the higher the number of minutes up here, the more compressed it's going to get, and you won't have quite the resolution. This will give me 24 hours. I usually one day I do one day trading anyway. I hit the reset just to clear out anything that may be stuck in here. And I'm going to turn on my basket equity. And remember, if I'm doing in a timed mode, I've got this set up where I want to only trade a certain time, like the London session, and I got my timer set up in the dashboard, which you'll know how to do if you looked at the 7 videos. Then of course I would put this into the auto mode. Hit reset, clean it out. Now that I'm in the auto mode, the graph will not start until my timer comes on up here. Okay, so let's see. Oops, that one went away, I guess. We had a yellow alert here, but it oops, there it came back. Let's go see what this one looks like. Pound CAD is giving us a down. And as you can see, we're breaking through the down line here. Now remember, we got the buffer set for 2 pips. The reason that yellow arrow is coming and going is because we do not get a trade signal until it goes to 2 pips, which is really close right in there. It doesn't take much to get 2 pips. But it gives us 2 pips. Now, what I'm going to do, but now what you do, you see that and you say, well, I'm going to come over and look at it. I got an alert. Do I want to take this trade? Do you want to go short? It's up to you. Now you can make the final decision. Do I want to go short or just leave it alone? Don't take the trade. Now if you have I'm going to turn on the timer. We have everything turned on. Okay, we got everything ready to trade. We got the buttons turned on. I hit this main button here, which gives me 24-hour trading. I got the TS turned on, and my spreads look okay. Now you notice our yellow arrow went away because we're in and out of that trade. That was what, the pound CAD. Now if you look at that, you say, that looks like a good trade. I want to take it. All I got to do is hit the alert button, turn off the alerts. Now as soon as this goes 2 pips below the breakout line, if it ever does again, it will take the trade. Okay, rather than wait, just to show you the demo here, I clicked on the sell button here and took a sell because I wanted to show you some of the other stuff. Okay, now we're in a live trade, as you can see right here. And I'm going to reset the graph here to get it started here. You can just barely see it right here, that little green pip right now. Okay, so the pound CAD is in a short trade. And we got an X here, which means if this trade closes out and the X is still there, we cannot take another automatic trade until this X goes away, which will be there for the duration of this 1 hour candle. And right now we got a little over about a half hour left on this candle. So in a half hour this X will go away. Now the buy and sell over here, remember, always override everything. So even though I got a trade on, I can always click on one of these and add to it. And remember, these buy or sells only work when there's no trade on. They simulate a breaking of the breakout line. They just simulate that. Okay, so now we're in a trade. And if I want to, I can add a take profit line. Pops up like that. And I can move it wherever I think we should go with it. Now, stop loss line is not going to work because, remember, we have this turned on. So the stop loss line you cannot add. As long as, if you got any of these, if you got a take profit turned on, you will not be able to add this because that'll automatically pop up and then you can move it around. Same way with stop loss. If you have this turned on, the stop loss button will not work. And same way here, this is a stop loss. We got set to true. So we set it to false. And of course everything gets erased because we start over again. But now we can put you can put your take profit back on. Now you can put your stop loss on wherever you want it. Just double click it to get the little squares over here. And you can move it wherever you want to put the stop loss. And you see it says HSL. These are hidden. The broker does not see these. So you can pick your spots where you want to put them. And as this moves down, say it goes into profit, you can grab this and move it tighten it up wherever you want to put it. If you no longer want it there, it's when you, after you got the little squares on there, just double click, whatever you gotta do, just hit delete, or you can hit the button up here too. And they go away. And you see it came back up in the alert mode. The reason for that was because of the setting in the TS settings over here. Remember when I opened this up, clicked OK when I turned this off, I still got this turned on down here. So that's the reason that came back up again like that. Remember we had turned this off. So close trades always works. If there's an open trade here, you want to get out of it right now, hit the close button, you're out of it. And you see we made 1 penny on that trade. And we got show trades. Back up here a little bit. It says there's 2 trades. I don't know where the other one is. It's on here someplace. Here's our present trade we just took. You see a little bitty of a green spot right there. That was that one. And there must be another one here someplace, which I don't see it offhand. Hard telling where it's at. Now sometimes you notice this one you can see it, but at times you can't see the trades. It's because chart on foreground. If you put the chart on the foreground, you see how the candle covers up that trade because it's behind the candle. So just be aware of that. See, it also puts it in front of your hash here too. So it just depends on what setting you want to run that at. Whether you got your chart on foreground or not, you turn it off. Now these trades that come up are all related to what's down here in the account history. So if you got this set up to show the last 10 years of trading, you're going to get trades all over the place. So a lot of times if you've just been trading for the week and you just want to see what's been this week, go up and set a custom period here. Pick your starting date. Like say you want to start on the 7th. And whenever you want it to end. And you click OK. And then if this list had a lot more in it, it would filter it down. Because that's what this is based on. It looks down here, picks them out, puts them on the chart. Now it does not put live trades on the chart. It only puts closed trades. So if there's a live trade going on over here, it's not going to show up in this here. Let's see. Oh, this was the one I was just playing around with just before we started here. That's why it's at the same date and everything. The second one, that's why it's showing 2. They're both right in the same area. They're hidden there, so they're hard to see. That's why it's showing 2, that we can't see them. They're one on top of another right in here. I think I can see it here, but you probably can't. Right here at the top of this green one, there's a little red splotch. That was something I was doing before when I just started up and shut down real quick. Okay, so you can turn them off. Click on that. And that about covers everything on there. I believe the only other thing is the undock. If you click the undock, if you've got more than one monitor, it breaks that chart loose from the MT4 platform. Now I can drag this over to another monitor and then expand it out. The only thing is the buttons do not work when you get it over to another monitor, but it's good for viewing it. And sometimes you just want to watch it, and you can still expand it this way or hit the plus or minus keys on your keyboard. We'll expand it that way, but don't use any of the buttons. And if you want to put it back into the MT4 platform, lock her back in, just hit the redock up here. And you're back over here again. Okay, so now that's trading basically the trend, and we're looking for a fractal breakout. These lines are put at fractal points. If you're not familiar with fractals, go look them up. These are 5-bar fractals. It means in this case there's a fractal there. You got to have 2 lower ones on this side, 2 lower ones on this side, you get the fractal. Same way down here, fractal here. This lower is up higher than this low. This low is higher than this low, and you got these 2 lows that are higher, so you get a fractal. 5 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 in the center. So those are 5-bar fractals. That's where these are placed. Like I said, these are trend. We're looking for the trend. Because we got this set for direction, which is the trend. So whenever this is red, it'll only take a short trade. Whenever it is blue, like over here, it'll only take a long trade when it breaks through the breakout line. Now if you want to use color change, you can turn that on, turn this off, and turn off the breakout lines. Now we are just entering the trade when the color changes. Click OK. Notice the breakout lines go away. Now we're going to take a trade on the color change. On the color change, you got to have, like going down, you got to have a blue one, then a red one. When those 2 are both closed, those 2 candles are closed, it will take the trade right here at the open of this one. That's where that trade entry would be. It takes opposite colors, candles to be closed, and at the open of the next candle is when it takes the trade. Now there's also a setting in here